All right, what's good, y'all? Welcome to the Jamaal Hollywood Show. You feel me? This is a new venture I'm doing where we're gonna be talking about, you feel me, current events, music, sports, entertainment, and everything in between. You feel me? We got a list of topics on hand for today's episode. Um, Started off though, I want to give a quick shout out to, you know, to my producer on hand, Brooklyn. You feel me? She holding it down in the background right now. You feel me? You could say something to let people know that you're hearing alive. You feel me?
Hey everybody, I'm Brooke.
Nah, yeah. She really holding it down on the production side of things, making sure that things stay afloat, you feel me? So I ain't gonna lie, to start it off, we're gonna dive into this topic that's been circulating the news waves lately. You know, the whole ordeal with the 11 scientists either dying or going missing as of late. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's been real. It's been real. It's been real weird. It's been real weird because some of the things that these people were studying and trying to uncover, and yeah, it kind of led to their demise in the end. You could play that video for the people real quick so they could get informed on what's going on.
Two, three.
Man.
Just have drawn even more suspicion about the resurfaced death of one of 11 scientists with ties to America's space and nuclear secrets who have mysteriously died or disappeared. Anti gravity researcher Amy Eskridge allegedly died from a self inflicted gunshot in June of 2022 when she was just 34 years old, according to the Daily Mail. However, Frank Milburn, a retired British paratrooper and intelligence officer who says he was in contact with Eskridge before her death, shared shocking messages with the outlet. One dated May 13, 2022 read, "If you see any report that I killed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I overdosed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I killed anyone else, I most definitely did not." Milburn says Eskridge told him that she had been the target of repeated physical and psychological attacks, including from a directed energy weapon, a device said to emit focused energy capable of causing burns or other physical harm. The researcher specializing in anti gravity, which is a staple topic among UFO enthusiasts, also mysteriously warned in a 2020 interview that her life might be in danger while discussing her research company, the Institute for Exotic.
I started the Institute for one reason. One reason, the Institute. I started it as a public facing persona to disclose anti gravity technology through because
This
I
is a
told
clip
Mark
I
this.
saw on TikTok.
If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off.
Eskridge also revealed that she had been receiving threats and that she had plans to disclose information about UFOs and extraterrestrials to the public. Her death was ruled a suicide, and neither the police nor the medical examiners have publicly released any details of an investigation into her death. Eskridge's death was unearthed after an already growing web of
Yeah.
concerning
See, you
deaths and
could pause it,
disappearances of
but
NASA
as you can
scientists.
see, that's some bullshit. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna let you know right now that won't no suicide. You feel me? It won't no. That is not no suicide. What happened to that woman? You having trouble? You lost a mouse? Oh shit. Nah, but yeah, I feel like yeah, that shit weird. When people start, digging deeper on like the UFO situations and anti-gravity, time travel, it's always something that, you know, leads to their demise. It's always something that goes on behind closed doors, and I don't know why. I feel like at the end of the day, with everything that's going on in America and the world, it seems like no matter how much we uncover, there's always more to uncover, and there's always more that they are trying to cover up. We already went through the whole ordeal of the Epstein files, and you know, for the past few years, people have been kind of pressing for these Epstein files to be released and stuff. And as soon as they get released, people focus on them for a couple of weeks, and then boom, the war happens, and then a lot of people, besides the war happening, a lot of people just let it be what it is. But it just seems like it's one thing after another. You feel me? Like now we get to this point. I don't know if you guys know who David Wilcox is, but I was watching a few of his videos when I first got to college back in like 2017 and shit, and to find out that he just passed away recently, And he's one of these 11 scientists. It's like, damn, they really seem like they really cracking down on all of these people. You know, I don't know, man. For those that really get deep into the conspiracies, quote unquote, you just got to keep your head on a swivel. It seems like because the government be watching for real, for real. The government be watching like a motherfucker. And throughout all the research that I've done personally, like, and all the stuff that I learned through these people, uh, to be honest with you, I don't see me personally. I don't see what the fucking big deal is. To be honest with you, unless there's something so monumental that it's gonna like leave the general public in a state of mind where they can't even like move or comprehend anymore on a day-to-day basis. I don't see what the big deal is, but after everything that we've learned over these past few years about the state of the world, I don't see what more can be, you know, shocking to the naked eye. You feel me? Especially after finding out that Epstein and them be eating kids and shit. Like, what more can be shocking than that? You feel me? I know it's a lot of things that people don't want to necessarily believe, but at the end of the day, like, you hear these things or see these things on a daily basis through TikTok, Instagram, news outlets, and all of the in between. So like your mind is already getting desensitized to hearing some of these, you know, news outlets and some of these shocking headlines as it is. So I don't know what it is that these scientists were kind of diving into that was so, detrimental to the general public from, their point of view, quote unquote, and that led to them being killed in the end. You feel me? That's one thing that kind of, doesn't sit well with me. But at the end of the day, we'll never know because they're not here no more. And nobody gonna come out and speak on their behalf. As you see people trying to speak up, but all they have is text messages based off of their last conversations, and you know, just they could just relay what they heard based off the conversations that they had with these people. But there's not much more that can be done at the end of the day. You feel me? Just gotta keep your head on the swivel. Speaking of keeping your head on the swivel, though, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, man, this situation right here, it just keeps getting worse for Will, doesn't it, man? It just keeps getting worse. He can't catch a break. Every time he it seemed like a constant humiliation ritual. But go ahead and play what she said.
Moment, I got in my martyrdom bag. And what that is for me is I hadn't quite learned how to love myself and not leave Will on the side of the road. And I hadn't learned how to love Will and not leave myself on the side of the road. And in that moment, because I felt so bad that he was in this situation, I decided I'm going to love you, Will, and I'm going to leave myself at the side of the road. And I wouldn't have known that that was an aspect that I needed to heal if it hadn't been for my kids, my mother, my friends were so hurt that I had done that to myself.
Yeah,
They
because
couldn't
they
believe.
and
When she's talking about doing that to
they
herself,
actually
she's talking about like
ask
cheating
you
in general.
afterwards. Now, mind you,
Huh?
smart
Yeah.
businesswoman.
No, I'm asking you, bro. Like, what do you think she mean?
Um, I think she's trying to flip the script basically by trying to say like most men cheat, and she decided to cheat this time like it wasn't on Will. But she's saying she's trying to protect him from something. But what exactly is she protecting him from? She's exposing everything. That's why I'm a little confused.
That's the thing, man.
Like you said, she keeps humiliating.
Yeah, it seems like you said, she's trying to flip the script. You know, she's probably looking at it like, oh, I want to protect him from the ego of it all. Trying to like, I don't know if she's like looking at it like, oh, let me try to keep him in his place type of thing. But even still, like I feel like the manipulation tactics have gone too far, and they too old, bro. Like it's not even like they our age or younger to even be going through some of these trials and tribulations. I mean, like I get that you get older, you have kids, and you may want to do your own thing after you get grown, I guess. But it's like I
But
don't know, man.
honestly, I feel like this has been going on for a long time though. It's just starting to come to the light within the past couple of years. Because I've been hearing that they were like swingers and stuff like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I think she used that situation for content. She
Mm.
had her talk show.
Yeah, everything isn't content though. At the end of the day, what is content and what is like stuff that you got to keep behind closed doors? You feel me? Are you gonna go as far as to say that you cheated on your husband to protect him? And you got a bunch of women in the crowd cheering that nonsense on, and it's like, what are y'all cheering on for real? The fact that you should cheat to protect your husband from what? The his ego or like I don't know what you're protecting because you're really just hurting the situation. What about her children? She didn't say nothing about her son? She didn't protect her son and his friendship with his homeboy, and she had a whole affair with her son's homie. Like it's just selfish all around. I feel like, and the mental gymnastics that people try to do to try to make themselves seem like they are justified in their actions, it get tired after a while, man.
She be classified as a narcissist.
Yeah, I would say so.
Also, it seems like she only comes out and talks about this stuff when she's promoting something. Like she's promoting a book right now.
But how many books do you have to write about cheating on your husband, having an
That's the only
affair?
thing going on in her life. She
My,
don't act.
meanwhile, Will Smith is out here still doing movies, doing commercials, doing whatever he want to do. Literally. Yeah, that the nigga be rapping and he don't even got to do that. Yo, this shit crazy. But it's the reason, like, it's crazy because you see Will Smith be himself, and then it's like, damn, I know he gotta go back home and deal with that.
Thing is, he doesn't have to go back. They can get a
They
divorce.
could, but at the end of the day, the day gotta end. It don't seem like the day is ever ending for them. You feel me? It's just a constant cycle of just nonsense.
As they
It is a long ass day, and like. This is another thing too. I feel like to piggyback off of this 11 scientists dying or going missing, why does bullshit like this have to be in the news cycle at all? You feel me? Like Will Smith, we're gonna break it down for real. For him to like go on the talk show and do the whole entanglement humiliation ritual, then have to go on stage and slap Chris Rock, get banned from the Oscars, and all of that shit. Just to still, just to still go through all of this, it's like, what it does the media see in this? And what agenda are they really trying to push at the end of the day? You feel me? Like, for as much real news as we get, it seems like we get 10 times more of bullshit. And this is just one of the 10 for this week. You feel me? Like, at the end of the day, man, I feel like Will Smith should dead ass leave that woman. But we all know that he probably ain't.
Second chance, though.
Now, you good. You good. We all know that he probably ain't gonna leave her. You feel me? That's a cold case right there. It's a cold case. Oh, man. But moving on from that, we got the NBA playoffs that's been happening recently. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This past season, I have not been super tuned in. I've been tuned in enough to understand the rankings of everything right now and to, you know, follow at least the surface level of things, but I swear I have not been tapped in as much as I needed to be this season. But I do know in the playoffs recently, man, the Rockets been getting their ass whooped. And LeBron, he been out there hooping by himself. No Luca, no Austin Reeves, and he's still getting it done. I feel like obviously they're gonna win this series, but they could do some real damage in the long run. But you never know. LeBron may be trying to get his fifth chip. You feel me? We can play these highlights. We can play these highlights real quick.
Taken away by James with Durant on his hip. LeBron.
This is like his 22nd.
He gets to his spots. He's automatic. Fifth all-time in scoring in the NBA, averaging 26 a year or a game this year. Smart, top of the key, three-pointer good. Lakers so efficient offensively throughout the year and in game one. Smart's got another one. Smart around the screen, steps back. Thompson one-on-one with LeBron, just going to back him in. And the spin and the fadeaway.
Here from KD, but look at this here. LeBron has been doing this for years.
And Lakers actually look to push late in that first. James will pull up, knock it down from beyond the arc.
Houston out of sorts on offense, but LeBron just steps right in, walks right into that three-pointer.
And a swing to get through that screen for James. The switch with Şengün. LeBron says, I'll just pull up again from right here.
Well, they were just arm wrestling down below. LeBron
It was contact, no call. Lakers turn to run. Canardo let it go there. Yeah, he won't hesitate.
Well, that was smart. Find the...
That's what LeBron wants to do. Off that screen, the roll to 8. He's looking to do that.
Well, just because you want to do
I
it doesn't
feel
mean...
like for one, just looking at these highlights and understanding what's been going on in the league, I feel like people underrate how much LeBron is able to do when he's on his own. You feel me? We really didn't see LeBron play by himself like that on a team with just role players, I guess, since his first run on the Cavs. After he left the Cavs, he played with Wade and Bosh, then played with Kyrie and Kevin Love. You feel me? He had that little stint when he was by himself in Cleveland for that second run, but you know, we ain't never see too much of Bron just carrying the team by himself and doing it all on his own. I feel like the team kind of like, at least this team right here, seemed to be revolving around him a lot better than some of those recent teams, you feel me, where he had to carry it by himself. Because the way Luke Kennard playing, the way Aiden is hooping actually with Bron and Hachimura, I think that's how you pronounce the name. How they all like cohesively, playing together with LeBron at the helm of things without Luca running things and isolating the ball so much. I feel like we're seeing some positives and how, LeBron could really do it all on his own. I know he 41, 42 years old, but he looking like he got a few more years left in him. I don't understand why he don't retire. Maybe he trying to really get a certain amount of chips. Maybe he trying to go for a certain number of points or do something. Or maybe he trying to play with both of his sons at the end of the day. But I feel like he probably gonna play with he probably gonna play what 3 more years. Probably gonna try to get at least 25 years played in the NBA and then call it a career. I do feel like Kevin Durant though, I don't know what he doing. I don't know what Kevin Durant is doing. Um this is another team where it looks like it's not gonna work out for him. It's crazy because the season before, I think they were the second seed. They looked like they were, kicking ass in the playoffs and all of that. Had some good upside to them, even when they got knocked out. This year, complete opposite. They got rid of Jalen Green, and it's just like, was it all worth it just to get KD at what, like 36 years old, however old he is? And like, I don't know. He got a few more years left too, but he don't even look like he cared too much about the situation he in. He just got caught up recently with another burner account talking shit about his teammates. He don't really care too much, man. He probably ready to get up out of there. And if he is staying, then some of those other players that's on the team is leaving, so it's gonna be a whole new makeup, all for the team just to get older by 10, 10 years. And then at the end of the day, Kevin Durant either going to leave or go to another, either going to leave, like I said, or retire. and that's gonna be it. I feel like they should have just kept that young team that they had. You feel me? Try to build more, draft a few more young players if they needed to, or sign a few more young players, but not go out their way to trade for an aging Kevin Durant that you got to revolve your whole team around, and then at the end of the day, it still don't work out when you're playing up against Braun. Like we're gonna see how the rest of the offs go, but I definitely feel like LeBron and them they got this round, and we're gonna be looking at probably what Denver and the Lakers for the second round. If so, that'll be a good matchup. You feel me? If it ain't if it ain't Denver, then it's probably OKC. And if it's OKC and Lakers, I feel like good matchup. As long as Luca come back, that'll be a good even matchup. You feel me? We could see some damage be done. I don't know if in the end, the Lakers would beat OKC, but we'll see. You feel me? Moving along with sports, though, you feel me? We've had a lot of eventful things going on lately. One of those eventful things was WrestleMania. I can honestly say that I ain't watched WrestleMania live. I did watch a few of the clips on Twitter. Um, this was the only like match I would say that I kind of like was intrigued by Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. Oba Femi being a new star in WWE. As you can see, they both evenly matched. But this is how the ordeal went. You feel me? Let's tune in. But like I said, like Brock Lesnar, he done did a lot of shit. Like he started out in like 2002, and like he was always just like the OD built nigga on the wrestling shit. You feel me? Like tossing niggas around like he was just doing this shit. So you could imagine like he leave and then come back and then he doing the whole like strong man shit. You feel me? He the biggest beast in town type of vibe. You feel me? So like all of the main superstars that was around, he was beating all of them. He beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Undertaker was undefeated. Before you go to the next clip, I was about to say, yeah, I gotta explain to you the whole Brock Lesnar lore so you understand. That's what I'm saying. He left and became a UFC fighter. Yeah, yeah. The first WWE run was like 2002 to 2005 or four.
Like in Cena, did John Cena start around the same time?
They was in the same. They started together. Yeah. Even that, the actor Batista, all three of them started together. So like they all in the same like draft class, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But he left, became a UFC fighter, and then after that he came back in like 2012, 2013, started whooping everybody ass, you feel me? And so like from that point up until now, he just been whooping everybody ass, that ass like he like I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know the last time he lost was probably to like the new nigga, well not the new nigga, but like the new main face Roman Reigns. That's the last time I feel like he lost. But yeah, now they got new bull Oba Femi. He done took over and they retired Brock Lesnar ass. You know. Outside of that, I feel like WrestleMania was kind of cheap still. That was the only match that seemed like it was you know, overly hyped. You feel me? All the
Last
Yeah, last weekend. I mean, I'm pretty sure the other matches got some views behind them too, but like, I ain't gonna lie, they kind of sabotaged WrestleMania this year from what I heard. There was a lot of advertisements going on. And one thing I don't understand with streaming, especially like, I don't know, ESPN, I don't know what type of deal they got going on, but like, I don't understand how you pay for a streaming app to get around ads and watching it on cable television just to, especially for a pay-per-view. How you getting ads during the pay-per-view? At least when I used to watch wrestling as a kid and I watched WrestleMania or like the Royal Rumble pay-per-view when my dad used to order it on the TV, that shit didn't have ads. Like I thought that was supposed to be the special thing about pay-per-view was the fact that like it was a longer version of what you see on TV and there's no ads and it's like
like premium content.
yeah, type shit. But now you get pay-per-views on streaming and you get ads thrown in there at the same time, and it's like half of the show be ads. They showed a time sheet of how long each match was, and it's like 5 minutes, 7 minutes. I'm like, God damn, like you could do a lot in 5 or 7 minutes, but when you only have like 5 to 7 matches, that's pretty short at the end of the day. And then you got a 4 hour block period. Like, I don't know. That's the way the world is. Corporations is eating these like brands up alive. Just advertisement after advertisement after advertisement. It's gonna become wildly after a while. And like niggas just gonna be living off of ads. You're gonna walk around and be an ad at the end of the day. Moving on though, we got new trailer just dropped. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie, this is one of the movies that I'm really excited for because it's DC Batman villain. You feel me? I feel like this is gonna be a good one. I'm not gonna lie. We got a new Clayface, trailer. Clayface supposed to be coming out, I think, in October. But from what I could tell, it's a new actor. I've never seen the actor before, and the vibe seemed like it's hitting on something this time around. So we're gonna check it out. You feel me? The interesting part about that last shot, I don't know if you even noticed that, bro, but like when he's in the tub, like his body is the tub. Body horror type of vibes going on with that movie right there. And I feel like that's gonna be a sleeper. That's gonna be one of the better movies, like superhero wise, that's gonna come out this year. I know we got Spider-Man coming out, we got Supergirl coming out, we got Doomsday coming out. But at the end of the day, I feel like Clayface is gonna be a sleeper. I feel like it's gonna be a good movie, a real good one, a real good one. I'm excited for it. But you know what did come out this past weekend? The Michael Jackson movie. And all I gotta say is I saw it recently and I made sure I saw it 2 days in advance just to make sure that I was one of the first people to really see this movie. And all I gotta say is those critics that came out and said, "Oh, the movie is trash. The movie is 2 out of 10. This and that." Those critics ain't know what they were talking about. You feel me? The movie was a solid film to me in my eyes, and I feel like at the end of the day, Jafar Jackson really did his thing when it came to portraying his uncle Michael Jackson. You feel me? At the end of the day, he himself, Jafar Jackson, him emulating Michael Jackson is the best part of this film. You feel me? At the end of the day, there are certain scenes where you get lost in the fact that you feel me, you seeing Michael Jackson. Especially for me personally, I feel like that scene when he's rehearsing "Beat It." I feel like that's one of the scenes that really exude the whole aura of Michael Jackson, the way he's talking and moving and all of that, his mannerisms. He really studied his uncle to a T when it came to this performance, and I feel like a lot of people are undermining everything that went into that. I do feel like there are some. Well, I already know there are scenes that they cut from the final cut, and I do feel like there were things that they could have added to, stretch out this first part of his life. But at the end of the day, Michael Jackson did have a lot of things that went on in his life. And there were a lot of things that they wanted to cover, but they couldn't. Diana Ross, she's not in this film. Janet Jackson's not in this film. There are certain things in that regard that doesn't sit well with me, and I feel like if those certain things were added into the film and embraced a lot more, then it could have brought this film together in a way that would have been one of the best biopics that we've seen in recent years. I still feel like it did its justice in terms of getting the general message across as far as Michael Jackson's story from the Jackson 5 up until he left the Jacksons full time. You feel me? Became a solo superstar. When I say left the Jacksons full time, I mean like after the victory tour when he really fully left and didn't have any like fear in his heart when it came to dealing with his father or anything. You feel me? I feel like this movie really focuses on that relationship and that whole coming of age within Michael Jackson. You feel me? So if you've seen the older Michael Jackson film, the American Dream one, where it focuses on the whole Jackson Five and their upbringing, you could imagine a film like that, but more focused on Michael and his journey through it all. You feel me? Um, at the end of the day, I feel like the movie is a solid like 8 out of 10 for me. Like I said, there's some things in this movie that I feel like just didn't sit well in terms of the things that they didn't include. Like they didn't include spoiler alert, but they didn't include the making of the Wiz or even, the song Rock With You, like the whole aesthetic and scene of him making that video or him, in Studio 54. Any scene that had to do with Diana Ross was cut. You feel me? They probably filmed it, but they didn't like put that in the final cut. And I already know they're gonna make a second movie. They're gonna come out with a part two that covers everything, I guess, from bad up until the end of his life. But with the pacing of this film and the way they went about certain things, I'm interested in seeing how they finish off the story in totality. They're leaving a lot of things out. And if you're a Michael Jackson fan, you know these things have happened in his life. You've seen the documentaries or you've seen certain things media wise that kind of fill it in for you. But at the end of the day, when it comes to a biopic, you do want to see like the totality of things, at least to a certain degree. You know that you're not going to see every little thing, but I felt like I was seeing a lot of the little things in this film versus some of the bigger things that I would have expected to see in a Michael Jackson biopic. Not to say that those little things didn't matter, but in totality and in comparison, you do see that, maybe it was a lot of things behind the scenes that just led to them cutting those bigger parts out. You feel me? Especially when it came to Diana Ross or some of the other people from real life that were a part of his life. You feel me? That didn't want to be portrayed or didn't feel comfortable with how they went about portraying him or some of these other people. But at the end of the day, I feel like it was a solid film. I feel like the critics were not in the right mind when it came to their rating of this film. I feel like a lot of the bias is coming from people that don't really rock with Michael Jackson or his story or how his, life went. And, to each his own. I feel like the second film would definitely cover some of those things that these people wanted to see be covered or, you know, just be talked about more. But at the end of the day, I feel like everyone should see the film for themselves and don't really, I don't think anyone should really focus too much on some of the critics or some of the reviews that they see before they see this film or any film in general. I feel like you should go into every film, seeing it for yourself and giving your own judgment. When I went into this film, I honestly thought it was going to be along the lines of in between of like a Bohemian Rhapsody or like a Cadillac Records or Dreamgirls type of vibe, and it was exactly that for me personally. I thought in the beginning I thought they were going to lean a little bit more heavy into the music, where it was just going to be a chain events of just like the music video scene after music video scene, but they didn't do that. They fleshed it out and they, paced it in a way where, you got to breathe in between the music that was being sang or sung, I should say. And, they fleshed it out, like I said. But everything that I kind of predicted about the film, from them spending as much time as they did on the Jackson 5 era to even them like taking it up to the bad era, I felt like everything happened the way I expected it to happen. So I'm personally satisfied with the film and in totality. Like I said, I do feel like there were things left on the cutting board that they should have put in that they probably didn't put in for legal reasons or whatever the case is. But it is what it is. Me myself, I know what happened. You feel me? I could go back and watch The Wiz and be fine, or I could, go back and, dive into certain parts of his life that, they didn't shed light on in this film and just be fine. I ain't really tripping personally, but Like I said, when it comes to biopics, you do want to see certain things fleshed out a little bit more. You feel me? You really do. But to focus on Michael still, we're gonna also dive in. This is gonna be the last little topic that we talk about, which is just something that came up. Top five Michael Jackson songs. And I gotta say honestly, um, there are a lot of songs that I rock with when it comes to Michael Jackson. And honestly, it's hard for me to come up with a top five, but I gotta do it. I gotta do it for this time around. And I got a list of songs right here. It's more than five, but I got a list of songs right here that I'm gonna kind of like list off. You feel me? And some of you may agree, some of you may not agree, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I could say undoubtedly though. Well, you know what? Let me not even start there. Let me start from the bottom. I would say honorable mention to start off, Lady in My Life. Honorable mention. You feel me? That's one of my favorite Michael Jackson songs. You feel me? Off of Thriller. I really rock for that song. Another honorable mention, I would say Butterflies. Definitely an honorable mention. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Almost snuck up in there in the top five, but it's an honorable mention for sure. Um, man, this next one, is it an honorable mention or is it in the top five? Jesus. At the end of the day, it's a great song, but mm, mm, my bad, y'all. I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, is it really? Uh, all right. Honorable mention. Remember the time. Another honorable mention. Break of Dawn. You feel me? I would say this is a hard list. You feel me? Don't judge me. It's hard. It's hard. But to start off the top five at number five, you feel me? I would say Can't Help It. You feel me? Me personally, that's one of my personal favorites, so I gotta put it in there in the top five. When I heard it in the Michael Jackson biopic, I was like, damn, they really snuck it in there. I fuck with that. I fuck with that. You feel me? Number five, Can't Help It. And then after that, I would say personally, You Rock My World. Number four, you feel me? That's in there. Ever since I was a child, I fucked with that music video heavy. I fucked with the song heavy. It's one of my favorites. You feel me? Number three, I would say Human Nature. You feel me? Human Nature, one of my favorite songs from Michael Jackson, one of the best songs from Michael Jackson, and one of the most sampled songs from Michael Jackson. Number two, Heaven Can Wait, one of my personal favorites. As you can see, I really fuck with the R&B vibes of Michael Jackson. And number one, Rock With You. That is my favorite Michael Jackson song of all time. I feel like no matter what mood I'm in, I feel like I could bump that song. You feel me? Whether it's a kickback, whether I'm chilling by myself, whether I'm driving down on a late night. You feel me? That's the perfect. That's one of the most perfect songs. You feel me? In my eyes, you Rock With You. But all of these songs that I've listed, if I could put them all in the top five, I would. You feel me? Obviously, it's more than five. Yeah. But you feel me? If I could put them all in there, I would. Cause I I fucks with Michael Jackson, and there's some songs that I didn't even list in the honorable mention because I didn't want my honorable mention list to be super long. Because y'all get the point. You feel me? All of my honorable mentions, they equally number six. Don't even think that it's like one behind another. Cause you feel me? Remember the time, Lady in My Life, Butterfly, like all them shits is great. You feel me? They great. But at the end of the day, Rock With You, that's the one for me. I ain't gonna lie, that's the number one song. the number one song. And if you got time this weekend, make sure you do see that Michael Jackson movie for yourself. You feel me? He a legend. Like I said, in my list of artists of all time, he's number one, Kanye number two. You feel me? That may be controversial to some people, but it is what it is. That's my personal opinion. You feel me? If we're gonna go all time greatest, those is the top two. It's kind of like Jordan and Kobe type shit. You feel me? But yeah, man. At the end of the day gotta end, and the day is over. And what I can say is, oh, oh no, we ain't gonna do albums today. Cause honestly though, if we did albums real quick, top five Michael Jackson albums, that's hard for me. Cause I fuck with Off the Wall, OD. So if I was to, all right, we're gonna narrow it down to the top three. If we're doing a top three between Bad, Thriller, and Off the Wall, honestly, I have I have it ranked as Off the Wall, Thriller, and then Bad as a personal preference type of thing. Not even a personal preference, just based off of the songs that I listen to. You feel me? Like, cause Off the Wall, man, I don't know. It's just something about that vibe I fuck with. But Invincible is a great album, man. Dangerous is a great album. History is a great album. Like Michael Jackson really had a fucking run from 79 to 2001. That boy was outside. You feel me? And he was dropping heat every so often, and every album had hits on that motherfucker, man. That's what you got to take away from it. At the end of the day, perfect your craft. Don't oversaturate it. And when you put some shit out, make sure it's something that's worth something, that has substance, you feel me? If you look at the formula, every album, not every album, most albums had no more than 15 songs on it, no more than 20 songs on it. Those videos told a story. They had substance. They carried weight. So when he released an album and then 6 months later he released a music video, people are still watching that music video 6 months after that video dropped because of the story that's being told. If you give people a story to understand and watch, they'll keep coming back to it to learn more. You know how many times people watch that You Walk My World video because of the dynamic between him and Chris Tucker, or how many people watch Beat It because of the little gang rivalry dance at the end, you feel me? The little moves that they are doing and all of that. People study all of that. You feel me? It's worth something at the end of the day. Nowadays, people just cut on the camera, jump up and down in front of the camera and call it a day. Michael was really about something, you feel me? And when I say Kanye West is number two, you see it in his work, you feel me? Think about every album he dropped. It was a different era, you feel me? Just like Michael Jackson to a certain degree, it was a different era. You had a graduation vibe, you feel me? And then after graduation, Love Lockdown, you feel me? That whole vaporwave type of vibe. Yeah, 808s and Heartbreaks. Yeah, that whole vibe though, like that we listen to now with the whole vaporwave, the Uzi, the goddamn, the auto tuning, and that type of aesthetic came from 808s and Heartbreaks. You feel me? So like every era started a whole ripple effect. You feel me? Graduation started something. Like that whole run, late registration, college dropout, all of that, that birth rappers like J. Cole and them, you feel me? Then 808s and Heartbreaks birth rappers like Lil Uzi and them. You got Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, Life of Pablo. All of these albums were different eras, but they are encapsulated with the mind of Kanye West. You feel me? Same for Mike, Thriller, Off the Wall, Bad, History, Invincible. Like these are different eras. You feel me? You see it in his concerts, you see it in the videos, and shit. You see it in everything. You feel me? So if you're gonna take something away from this shit, take this. Study your craft, and when you put some shit out, make sure it's worth something. You feel me? The more that you focus in on what's important and keep the main thing, the more it'll be worth. The more you try to oversaturate what you think the main thing is, the less it becomes the main thing. How often will people care about something when they constantly see it in their face? Or depending on the product, you feel me? How often will people want to consume it? You feel me? Not very often, you feel me? There are certain things that people will overly consume on a daily basis, but subconsciously they don't even want to do it. They just do it because of the state that they're in economically or a state of they're in mentally, you feel me? Think about it. McDonald's, some people only eat McDonald's because they have to, because they can't afford anything else other than McDonald's. Or some people eat McDonald's because they just feel like that's like it's just good food for their taste buds, you feel me? They just want that little dopamine rush, you feel me? Mental, financial, they still victims of something, you feel me? But if you don't want to be a victim, take advantage of what you have in front of you. You feel me? Focus on what you got in front of you, the opportunity that you got in front of you, and really make the main thing the main thing. You feel me? Keep the main thing the main thing. And then when you produce it, or when you come out with something, or when you put your foot forward, it'll be your best foot forward because you really took the time to focus in on yourself and what was important. You feel me? So with that being said, I'd like to thank y'all for kicking it with us on the first episode. You feel me? We're gonna keep doing this on a weekly basis. You feel me? And this is something that I'm gonna try to make a promise to myself that we will. You feel me? Keep this a weekly thing, and then a year from now we'll have more than 50 episodes at that. Because you feel me? 52 weeks in a year, we'll for sure have at least 50 something. You feel me? We're gonna do it big. I'm gonna give a shout out to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? For doing her thing.
Thank you, thank you.
Holding it down on the OBS, you feel me? And yeah, we're gonna get out y'all here. And what you think, Saturday morning?
Yeah, like the cartoons.
Yes. So yeah, we're gonna be on a Saturday morning type of vibe, you feel me? So every Saturday you're gonna see us and you're gonna be right here talking about whatever's going on in the world to get y'all day started, you feel me? Appreciate y'all, you feel me? Booyaka, booyaka. 619.